Streaming cyberspace into your place, sanctioned by the Bootleg Racing League from Langley Speedway. It's doubleheader Saturday night on the Virtual Grip Network. First up, fourth round coverage of the Outlaw SK Modified Invitational Series, Season 38. Decide, commit, act, succeed, repeat. The steps that must be danced to achieve legendary status. And a man doing that dance once again is none other than five-time Outlaw champ Donnie Moore. He won his first crown early on in Season 3, did it again in Season 7, 15, 28, and most recently Season 32. But in the quiet shadows, whispers persist that the sport has passed Moore by, that his nickname, Old Time, is more of a sad epitaph than affectionate sobriquet. But now, in what may be thought to be the winner of his career, Moore has unwound the rope from his rusty toolbox in an attempt to lasso the sun and yank it buck up into the sky, giving himself one more season of summer. The subplot that underpins Moore's efforts is so corny that if lived in fiction, its poignancy would be too convenient to be believed. That being that the driver trying to ruin the plans of the man called Old Time is known as Young Gun. Just 8 points back of Moore in the standings lurks Aiden Young Gun Young. With the Season 33 Outlaw Championship already on his resume, Young has made it clear he hopes to lengthen the list. It's the age-old story of youth against experience, and to watch it play out in a Shakespearean fashion, all you need to do is pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for the simulated short track racing action that's about to stream your way. And Old Dominion, hello and welcome on this Saturday night, January 25th, 2025. Zach Shaggy Chapman joins yours truly, Bill Soups on, hi from the VGM broadcast booth to bring you our Words Eye View. Replay Ryan Seneker, turn the knobs, push the sliders. Okay, Zach, tonight has been presented as something Shakespearean. And the stage that it all takes place on is Langley Speedway.
Yeah, and we're flat tracking here tonight, Soup. I'm riding around with James Lowe in the 99, and when we hop on board here, you're going to see the most banking we get 6 degrees in the corners, 2 degrees down the straightaways. You're not going to get any help, and you're going to see drivers pick up that throttle early on the inside, and that rear end step away a little bit as James Lowe does it on command. You're really going to want to float that thing up to the wall if you can. Conserve that right rear tire temp, as we know wear, not really an issue with these things. But you want to keep it cool. You don't want to hear that screech. And, well, Soup, if you can keep those tire temps down, the last 20 laps, you're going to be driving.
James Lowe looking very smooth, has never won here at this track. He's hoping to pick up his first win tonight. Let's take a quick look at the points with Brendan Myers and Todd Cousins making their season's debut at 5 flags. The number of drivers who have raced at least once this season grows to 27. 16 haven't raced in each of the previous 3 events. Donnie Moore has 3 career wins in a modified at Langley. Nobody racing tonight has more than 1. Aiden Young Gun Young is one of those drivers with a Langley win. After a disappointing 12th to start the season, rookie Edward Foster has posted a 2nd, followed by a 4th last time out. 5 flags saw the Canadian Goose John Wilson perched on his first podium. 3-time and defending champ Todd Liston moved up 2 spots. He's won here before. After starting the season with a pair of trays at 5 flags, 18th dropped Ruben Altice from 2nd to 6th. Like Young and Liston, the quiet man is a single-time winner here. A 12th last time out was Trey Bloom's worst result of the season. Chris Haslick has yet to miss the top 10. And the boss man, Lowell Jewell, still hunting his first top 5, but he, too, knows how to win at Langley. And rookie Tim Corder, well, he leads all drivers in collected incident points. What's the deal here tonight? What are the rules package? What do we got going on? Well, we're going 100 laps as usual. No fast repairs, fixed setups. Leader has choice of lanes. We only have 1 green-white checker. And the grid tonight is inverted from last race results. They take the top 13, Baker's dozen worth, and flip them around. Round number 3. This and 8 more.
And just to just to
Go ahead.
touch on that, Soup. That's why it's so important in this race. You never give up. You're always fighting for that top 13.
Indeed, because it makes a big difference. Practice is over. There is no qualifying because the grid is set as we aforementioned. 20 drivers here tonight. A healthy field for most series. A rather small field in regards to what we've seen so far in the first 3 races. Let's give you the starting lineup right now. It's the Caveman, Trey Bloom, in number 32. He'll be starting inside. We assume he'll be starting inside of the number 11, Brendan Myers. And Shaggy's trying to figure out the button to push.
No, I was taking a look there. I was sorry. Got a little
buddy.
blinded. Inside of row number 2, the 93 of Chris Hazlip, and his outside the young goat.
iRacing has upgraded the crowd, and they're now 3-dimensional, and he found a pretty one out there that he was looking at. Pay attention, Shaggy. All right, the man who we saw doing the example lap, James Lowe, he'll be starting in 5th. He's going to be flanked by 3-time and defending champion, Todd Whistler.
Yeah, no, truthfully, to wrap myself out, I had it organized by practice. I'm embarrassed. Inside of row number 4, John Wilson in the 75, and it is outside the 4 of Ed Foster.
Oh my goodness, John Wilson is going to have a man called Mr. Aggressive behind him in the 9th position. We'll see how Chris Davis does there. He's going to be inside of, old Donnie Moore, your points leader.
Row number 6 to the inside, Tom Hilbert into the outside, Ed Springer.
He finished 13th. He's starting in 13th. Let me correct myself here. That is Kurt Smith with very fast Scott Negus outside of him.
Ruben Altiste to the inside of Lowell Jewell, and they take up row number 8.
Jason Menda and Double Deuce Bruce Pearson go 17th and 18th.
Adam Shane to the inside of Steve Hilbert for row number 10, rounding out the field.
Good to see the Chief back out there in his field number 52, starting in 20th. All right, with that said, we turn our attention to car number 32, the Caveman, cancer researcher in northern Montana, southern Canada, Trey Bloom. Chug a look, makes you want to holler Heidi ho. He works through 1 and 2. Trey Bloom is comfortably out in front. Number 11, Brendan Myers, is going to easily get second. Now let's see what Aiden Young can do. Young tries to pitch down the 93 of Chris Hazlip, and the lipper goes around.
Yeah, we got a parking lot there coming out of 4 or 5 cars, 6 cars sitting still. Hopefully some of them were able to avoid damage, but man, Soup happening early here. A long way to go tonight.
Right in front of the field. A great job from Jason Menda. If we can take another look at this, watch this one. Then we'll watch from the cockpit of the 45. Look at all the cars piling up, and squirting to the inside is Menda, and he leaves them all behind. Menda, who started in 12th, finds himself in 10th right now. Be right on board with Jason. You be the judge. Go high, go low. Just enough room.
Wow. Man, even the Russian judge gives that a 10. That was good hands right there, Soup.
Well, Shaggy, why don't you talk to the 45 of Jason Menda? He's made his move to the inside there. I bet he's pretty proud of that.
Hey, Jason, Shaggy up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, how are those gloves feeling? Did they cool off yet? I mean, there's some hot hands avoiding that wreck out of 4. That was quick.
I was just trying to stay alive on that one.
Yeah, I mean, early stages of the race here, but we're seeing guys want to fight for that bottom coming off the corner. Where do you want to put the car tonight? Do we run up top, cool the tires down, or do you just the bottom?
Try to hold the bottom. Top's not so good at this track, but if I have to, I'll try it.
Jason, looks like iRacing's going to score you in an 11th spot, so maybe you get lucky, get the inside line. Got to be feeling pretty good, but now you're in amongst them.
Yeah, it's early, but it should be entertaining.
All right, man, we'll keep an eye on you. Good luck. They're doubling up. And it looks like they're going to put Menda actually in the 13th position. Still an odd number. All right. Well, that's going to give Trey Bloom one more chance to get this race going here. We didn't get very far. Pace car pulls in. Bloom waits. He waits. He gets a little bit of a help from the car behind him. Aiden Young says, let's go, Trey. Trey obliges, and now he's out in front again. Great job from the number 11 of Brendan Myers, tucking down into second. Young got out of the outside line. Now he's on the inside. Stuck out there. Three-time and defending champion Todd Liston in the 87. Shaggy, I don't know if there's any room for the 87 to find their way down in there. They're lined up on the inside behind him.
He may not need to. Look at that run on the outside through 1 and 2. Moves up to third place after Brennan Myers there in the 11. He gets a little loose in 1 and 2. Now Liston, does he look down low? He's got a little bit of room, Sue.
I think the good news for Liston is Myers does not look really comfortable. Remember, just because Myers is starting up front has nothing to do with his qualifying time. It's based on how he did on the last race. Now Brendan seems to be getting in a bit of a rhythm, and Liston is still struggling to find some way down. He's lost the position to James Lowe. He's lost it to Canadian Goose John Wilson. And now here comes old-time Donnie Moore, your points leader.
Yeah, Donnie knew how important that was. He sent it in, able to ride the brake, keep it down low. He's going to move up a spot. You know who behind Mr. Aggressive. So he's going to make this happen.
Shaggy, is that something you could do? Even though it may cost you the lap time, can you take it into the corner harder to protect that inside spot?
Yeah, you definitely can. You're just going to heat up that right front if you're dragging the brake a little extra than you would. And, you know, you might have to take it easy the next lap or two to bring the temps back down. But you can do it, especially early on while you have a lot of extra room.
Yeah, probably a price to pay there to protect that spot. Liston looks like he's going to have to tuck in behind Scott Negus. Double wide up in front. Negus now trying to go underneath. Oh, underneath Chris Davis. Yeah, you give Negus credit. He's not giving up. Negus is there. He's pushing. He's elbowing Davis. Look how low Negus got the left sides on the Virginia Alfalfa.
Yeah, he's being nice there, Soup. I don't know how many more times he'll play that card, though. You get run down there, and, man, he's lucky they both are able to keep this thing rolling. I mean, we're not even to lap 20 yet, Soup. He's looking again.
That is where the action is, and boy! And Davis gets loose, he saves it, he gets loose, and he saves it, and the pass is made. Davis is still struggling trying to get the car under him.
I can't believe he held onto that race car. I mean, he stepped in the throttle trying to hold the spot, lost the rear end a little bit extra, able to gather it in and still stay with Scott Negus. I mean, he's right there. One mistake from Negus, and Mr. Aggressive might take another peek.
Oh my goodness, my dad always told me the tree remembers, the axe forgets. Well, right now, the axe is back there is Chris Davis, or the tree is Chris Davis, and he'd like to get a piece out of the axe of Scott Negus up in front. Negus would like to get a little bit of safety between him and Davis as he's working on the back of Donnie Moore. That's where the excitement is, this battle for what would be 6th position.
Yeah, and they know they need to get going because just 4 spots back and they're 10th. Jason Menda, Soup, he started 17th. He's up 7 spots already. He is ready to go.
Davis gets high now, and now this is Altice. This is a different pass. There's being passed by Scott Negus, and there's being passed by Ruben Altice. Altice is not going to rough you up the way that Negus is, and he gets through cleanly, and he brings along Menda as well. Davis cannot find in there. Todd Liston does what Shaggy talked about. Took it in deep, trying to keep Davis on the outside. The 7 going backwards.
Yeah, Liston, I mean, he's still in the points talk, obviously, in the top 5, but we're used to seeing that 87 at the top. He knows he needs to put a good run together tonight, and it all starts with driving it in deep a little extra. And looking at the race in front, Liston's loving what he sees. He might be able to pick up one more.
Menda, who was able to make that great accident avoidance, he goes underneath Ruben Altice, who's stuck out there now, and now Negus gets underneath Donnie Moore. We got goers and comers. Look at Menda, wants to follow Negus through. Moore is going to leave the door open for him if he wants. And we got a caution.
Yeah, it's Springer. Oh, and then when he tries to straighten it out, he gets in the throttle a little hard, and man, he hit the wall pretty good. Hopefully the right front's all right. A little 2 for 1 for it.
Springer and the boss man get together. I think Springer might have been worried about the leaders coming around, and in his hurry to get the car around, he puts the right front into the outside wall.
Yeah, you said it, though. Just the slightest tap from Lowell there on corner entry, and he just wasn't able to secure it. Loops around. And it would have been no harm, no foul had he not been worried about the leaders. That's tough for him.
Let's dial up the number 7 of Chris Davis and talk to him. He started in 9th position, worked his way up a bit, and now he's been pushed back to 10th. Chris, they're roughing you up out there.
Well, you know, I've probably been known to give a bumper or two.
How's the car feeling?
You know, it feels okay. Hold on one sec. Crew chief just says I have a little damage on the rear, but I think I'm all right. You know, it's another long race, Soup, so I don't want to burn up my stuff yet. And I have a feeling based on how those first 25 laps go, we'll probably get another yellow flag or 2 or 3.
Shaggy?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Are you worried there? You know, I mean, you're getting tapped a little bit. You were in that slide out of 4. Are you worried about the tire temps at all? Do you think this caution helps you bring them back down?
Yeah, thank you. The caution, I think, is going to help a lot. And I'm probably just going to lay easy here a little bit. I don't want to run it too hard. I mean, we still got 70-plus laps to go.
Chris is Soup again. You took my breath away. How close was the car to going around, or were you in control the whole time?
Soup, if you're in control, you're not trying.
All right, go get him,
love
man.
that.
Mr. Aggressive, Chris Davis. That car looked like it was going around. I think it was a pretty good catch. All right, they are doubling up. All this going on behind the caveman. Hails out of northern Montana, southern Canada. Cancer researcher. Has ignored all of my suggestions to do a little investigation into apricot pits. He seems to have it under control. Car number 32. We call him the caveman because he spent a couple summers working in the cave somewhere in Europe doing some research. Not sure if it was cancer research or anthropology or just if he was just doing some spelunking. Here we go. Working lap number 28 is the caveman. He gets it done. Now here comes Aiden Young. Remember, Young is in that points race with Donnie Moore.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, Soup. I thought he'd lay back and think that inside position on restarts is what he wants, but it looks like he's making the move for second. And if Aiden's battling up front this early, the caveman better hold on because Aiden's going to want to set the pace.
So much of this depends on the odd and even ferries. Right now, maybe Scott Negus gets the worst of it. He's going to sort down in there. There is room for Negus to tuck in there. He does. He gets it tucked in right in front of Donnie Moore, who maybe old time gave him a little bit of help there. Stuck on the wide side is the 11 of Brendan Myers. And I don't know if there's any room for him.
No, but it maybe looks like that outside starting to roll a little bit. But battle for the lead. Look at the young gun. I told you he'd want to set the pace, Soup, out front.
He gets underneath the caveman, and now Bloom is in trouble. James Lowe comes through. The Canadian Goose John Wilson coming through. And Scott Negus. He was stuck up top. He gets down to the bottom.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. I mean, Trey running out front 2 laps ago now finds himself in 8th, now possibly 9th. I mean, Soup, I thought the outside might come into play later, but you just don't want to be up there at all.
Yeah, he's going to look for a spot. A few drivers to talk about. Ed Springer, after that spin, he's a lap down. The Lipper is 1 lap down as well. Chris Hayslip back in 17th. Some guys that have called it tonight, I think. Ed Foster and Kurt Smith. Let me see if they're both out there. Oh, they're both out there. 10 and 13 laps down. Good on them to be out there putting in the laps.
Oh, Liston goes around, coming out of 4. Big up and man, oh man, Liston. I think he's going to write somebody off the Christmas list on that one.
Let's see what happened to Todd. It was more than just a spin. I think maybe Donnie Moore kind of checked up and Liston got into Moore a little bit. Then it got ugly.
Yeah, you're right, Soup. I didn't see the initial checkup, and I mean, not really much you can do when you're trying to woe it down.
And we just talked about drivers like Ed Foster and Kurt Smith, why they're still out there putting in laps. Well, every position is a point. And with a small field of 20, a driver like Ed Foster in 19th, He could theoretically, if attrition plays a big enough role, he could get to that Baker's dozen spot. In fact, let's go ahead and dial up the Aussie, the number 4, and find out how he's doing. Ed, it's Soup up here in the booth. We're bringing you up. I know you're 19th. Things have not been going your way. But you know, you're only a handful of spots away from being on the pole next round. Is that what you're thinking?
No, man, I just haven't got anything else to do, so I thought I'd come out and drive around. This time I kind of had set aside for racing, so I may as well drive, right?
All right, help us out here around the globe. We have viewers everywhere. What time of day is it in Australia? And where in Australia are you? On the west side, the east side? Where are you?
I am on the south coast. I'm in South Australia, in a suburb of Adelaide. So, yeah, if anybody wants to Google that, it's kind of at the bottom in the middle. And it is 11:36 a.m.
11:36. Can you see Antarctica if you stand on your toes? Are you that close?
Not that close, mate. I don't reckon it'd be as hot as it is here today if I was that close to Antarctica. No.
All right. Good luck to you.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much done, man. Maybe we'll take good luck for the next one, but I'm just rolling around here.
All right. Well, we go. I was hoping he knew something about Antarctica, southern part of Australia. That's pretty low.
Yeah, Adelaide. Where have I heard that before? Did they used to run F1 over there? Do they still run an F1 race over there? I've heard it somewhere.
Used to date a girl in high school named Adelaide. But that's a story for another day.
You left her with a broken heart, Sue.
Well, there was a broken heart involved. We won't mention what gender owned it. Aiden Young gets the jump. James Lowe. Lowe stepped away for quite a while. He had quite a reputation as being competitive, and I think the reputation stayed with him as he returns, and he has not really lost a step. The battle is back for third. Again, on the outside is Scott Negus, and somehow he's managing not to have that crush him. While other drivers seem to fall back, Negus in the 29, maybe he's burning up a lot of tire equity to get this done. I think he's going to have to finally decide to tuck down into the behind the number 11. Now here's Brendan Myers. Remember, Myers was stuck in that problem too. He's up there now in fourth. Good on him.
Yeah, and I think Myers is one of the guys who took the mentality of, I'm just going to go up here, let the guys drive underneath me, go on by me. I'll save my stuff. I'll get them back when it matters. It's really showing now.
Okay, well, let's look at the 45. Here's a driver who is notorious for not having that strategy. We almost call it the Jason Mendes strategy of burning up your stuff, get to the front, and then make them go around you once you get there. This is interesting. You have Menda and Altice, two drivers that are notorious for working their way through the field. Maybe a little differently. Altice may be a more disciplined about it, will do it a little more surgically. Menda will throw caution to the wind and go, but it's fun to watch the 70 and the 45 do what they do.
Yeah, a case of maybe in other circumstances, Altice might let Menda by and let him go do the work. But
yeah,
right behind him, there's a huge train. Altice doesn't want to lose all those spots, so you got to make a smart decision.
Something else that's interesting. Let's go ahead, put the camera on the leader.
Oh, Myers around. Oh, no, he saves it, Sue. Through the grass. Caution flag flies, but Myers kept it, for the most part, straight. Good hands from the 11.
He was on the wide top side, brought the car in for a late entry into the corner, and Negus, well, let's put it politely, was surprised to see the 11 in front of him.
Yeah, but that, man, that was from a car length or two back. Brennan definitely not expecting that. I know Negus not doing it on purpose. Just in case of guys seeing that bottom open, and we've seen how important it is. I mean, Negus, he tried to make it stick, just couldn't get it there.
The question I'd like to know, and we're going to let Shaggy talk to our leader, Aiden Young here in just a second. I'd like to know if Aiden is pushing it from the lead, or because he was not pulling away from James Lowe. I'd like to know how hard he's working. Let's see if we can dial up the number 69. Let Shaggy talk to him.
Well, hey, Young Gun, Shaggy up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, you know, you were running around third place there for a while. That last restart, you decided it's go time. You move on up to P2, and, well, you made quick work of the leader. How important is it for you to get out front and set the pace?
Yeah, it's important. This is definitely not my favorite track, but I'm doing my best.
You weren't pulling away from James Lowe. How hard are you going to work? Just enough, or do you want to get a little gap?
Just enough just to keep him behind me, but keep him close.
All right, we'll keep an eye on you. Let's go ahead and talk big picture. Remember, the whole thing was about experience against youth, old time against young gun, Donnie Moore against Aiden Young. Well, how do they line up right now? Well, youth is in the lead. Experience, the number 26 ASPCA special in 7th.
We got to keep an eye on the 75 here. The Goose, he's got the wings flapping. If he can take advantage of a good restart, he's somebody who I think may be aggressive enough to try to work to the inside of Aiden Young. He may really force Aiden to push that up.
The Goose right now nesting in the 3rd position. He's got Ruben Altice. Look at that 3rd row. Ruben Altice and Jason Menda. Let's see if they stay in 5th and 6th. We are currently burping lap 52. Let's see where they are on lap 62. All right, we go green one more time. He's led the, no, he's not led the entire way. He's led the last 22 laps. That is Aiden Young. James Lowe behind him. Negus on the top side. This is the interesting battle. Negus is going to try it for all it's worth to get a momentum, and he's going to power around. He puts it in the wall. He tries to come down in front of the Goose. John Wilson says, not on my watch. Negus says, I'm not done yet. He continues to race hard out of 2. Wow, Shaggy, the 29 really wants that spot.
Yeah, those tires are going to be yelling at him here in about 2 laps, though. He's only got about 4 sets of corners to get this thing done, or he's got to slot back in line. He's picking the throttle up. You see real early coming out of the corner, has to lift and able to fall back in line. But man, oh man, he's going to pay for that.
Altice did his very best to try to get underneath Negus, but Altice knows there's a little bit of a reputation with Negus. You don't want to really crowd him because he'll crowd you right back. So Altice says, all right, I will wait. I will be patient. The quiet man says, not my time yet. Menda back there watching behind Altice. He races in 6th. All this going on behind Aiden Young, who is not pulling away from James Lowe. Is Young keeping a little bit in his pocket, not showing all he has, perhaps?
Yeah, you got to keep that carrot close. You want to let him see the prize, make him work a little harder. And Aiden's really good at doing that. I don't know how some drivers can get out front and just control the speed. I like to burn it up and not have anything left at the end. That's an art all in itself.
Let's give it a little love to a couple of drivers we haven't talked much about. How about the Double Deuce Bruce Pearson? He's made his way into the top 10, starting in 18th. He's got a little bit of cushion ahead of him, cushion behind him. Just ahead at Double Deuce, Brendan Myers. Now a battle for 3rd. Negus getting underneath Wilson.
Yeah, Negus returning the favor there. He gets to go to the inside, and now the Goose, he's going to look up in that rearview mirror, and he better let these 2 go on by, or Donnie Moore is going to be coming up the road here pretty soon.
Yeah, if I was spotting for... I think he did that. I think he was listening to the broadcast. I really think the 75 lifted and let Menda go by. Menda and Altice doing what they do, and I also keeping the tires cool, I think. I think it's easier for guys like Altice and Menda right now to... They got a snowplow in front of them, of the 29 of Scott Negus, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but Negus will make a hole for you. In fact, no! Altice says it's time to go, Soup.
Yeah, he drives it in deep there in the center of 3. He really gets it to stick, and looks like he's going to do this no problem. Okay, man, he's going to step on it a little early there. You see, it's just so enticing, and we talked about it. Flattens out to 3 degrees going down the straightaway. You just have no help coming off the corner, and you can't push that throttle like you want to.
Oh, it's almost like Altice and Menda are driving 2 different cars than Negus was. Negus was really sawing on the wheel to keep the car going. You can tell that maybe he's used up a lot of his stuff. Now, from what I've learned, you can cool them down and the tires can come back to you. But look at this. Drivers are creatures of habit. Altice and Menda moving up.
Yeah, and Altice, I mean, after how hard he's fought through this field, I mean, he's driven it in deep, rode the brake. He still looks like he's got a lot of speed. He's getting up there and really pushing James Lowe. James is going to have to see if he can get Aiden to pick up this pace, or he's going to be in jeopardy here soon.
Just to drill down a little bit on Altice and Menda. Altice started in 15th, Menda right behind him in 17th, and they worked their way up to 3rd and 4th. Started with 20 quires, 14 on the lead lap. Chris Davis, the first car, 1 lap down. Battle for second.
Yeah, Altice taking a peek here. How far does he drive it in?
Got him.
Deep, man. He drives it in. I can't believe all the moves that 70 machine makes, and he's still got that kind of grip to ride in and roll the center of the apex.
Whoa, he got a little bit loose
There
there.
he goes.
We go now. Menda trying to work underneath James Lowe. So they get one more. Well, go ahead.
You look at that lap counter, you try to trick yourself saying, hey, there's 20-some laps to go, I can save some stuff, but it's not easy to pass here, so James Lowe, if he's got anything left, he's going to have to come back at him quick. He's going to run out of time.
Well, James Lowe knows how these broadcasts work, and we're working lap number 72. He could be waiting for lap number 81, and we all know what happens on lap number 81. That's a little bit of storyline for you, the viewer, and a little bit of a nudge to everyone here in the booth that we don't miss our cues. Let's look at the number 2 of Lowell Jewell. He started in 16th, racing in 9th right now, and he's got a few guys in front of him. Oh, the 11 of Brendan Myers trying to go down low underneath John Wilson. Boy, it wasn't long ago. The Canadian Goose, the 75, was racing for the front, and now he's in jeopardy of losing at least 1, probably 2 more spots. Here's one.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get down low here, the boss man might roll the center off, but no, he's going to just follow him in the corner. Boss man not in a hurry just yet, like in P9.
Let's look at this. Let's go up to the 70 of Ruben Altice. Now, you always wonder if the leader is coming back to the man in second or if the man in second is running him down. Based on the gap between Altice and Menda, the quiet man has left Jason Menda behind. I think Altice has got something.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the few times where if you glance at practice times, Aiden Young, normally in that top 5 soon. He was 10th fastest. Doesn't necessarily have the speed at this pace. Or at this place, just a long run car. So if Altice saved enough, he may be able to make a lunge here in the last 20 laps.
Let's drop back a little bit. This Niga's putting on more of a show. James Lowe, I think the good is off the rubber here as he drops another spot.
Yeah, and it just shows different strokes for different folks. I mean, he was up front the whole time, riding around behind Aiden, but
if you're thinking about winning, get the mirror ball spinning, grip the groove, make your move, put on your dancing shoes. It's time to boogie. With that said, let's see what kind of moves Ruben Altice has. Let's turn our attention to the leaders. We ride on board with the quiet man right now. He was within a car length of Young. Young may have heard the music as well, and he may know now that it's time. No reason you can't take that extra tread with you to heaven. He may be burning up.
yeah, and we're getting to that point, Soup. If we stay green flag, I mean, look up the road. We're going to get some lap traffic, so Aiden's going to need to use them to his benefit. But
There's a caution.
Commentator curse.
It's your point leader, Donnie Moore. He got loose in front of Brendan Myers, the 11. This is not your fault. This is old time, showing his age.
Yeah, just the rear end steps out, and you want to pick up that throttle. Nothing Brendan can do that early. That's a tough break, just a racing deal for both of them.
In the intro, they talked about the whispers and the dark crevices of the Bootleg Racing League. Does Donnie Moore still have it? 5-time champ. He's won a championship just a handful of seasons ago. But he has the pressure of Aiden Young on him, and this one's going to hurt. Moore still on the lead lap, and what's more important, sitting in 14th. Let's dial up the 26. Donnie and Soup, we don't like to go to you after a mistake, but did you just make one?
Geez, yeah, a little bit. Boy, it's so doggone tough coming, exiting corners, man. Jesus. Ah.
All right. Well, you can make lemonade out of lemons here. You're in 14th. You have one spot in you.
Let's hope so.
All right. Good luck. Give Donnie Moore a lot of credit there. That was a tough interview. He was not at his best on that one. It's got to be hurting a little bit.
No, yeah, but you said it. I mean, lemonade's out of a lemon there, or lemonade out of lemons there. If he could win next week, get himself into 13th here. You do the math. That's 6.5 average. He'll take that after a mistake. That's right around where he's running. So he's just got to put his head down and get himself into the top 15.
Chicken soup out of chicken feathers. Yeah, that'll keep me employed. See what I did there, boss man? All right. Well, can the number 70 of Ruben Altice pin Aiden Young down low? Menda back there in third. He seemed to be out of juice when it came to racing here. Let's see what he's got for the 45. He's right on the back of the 69. This is all very important. The pace car pulls in. Oh, Menda gets a good jump, and now it's Menda inside of Altice. Altice is going to fight for the spot. He gives it up, and now he can tuck down into third. James Lowe fighting with Scott Negus on the top side. They are working lap number 90 now. It is Aiden Young. He's led 59 laps. Would like to lead 69 when it's all said and done. That'll give him the win.
Yeah, and you talked about it. Looked like Altice was maybe the only man who could go up there and make a run. So Aiden doing a great job on that restart of pulling Jason around. That may have locked this thing up for him if Altice came out.
Tires cool down a little bit on these cars. They can go a little bit faster. Menda now up into second. Got to give some love to the man who pays the bills. Car number 2, Lowell Jewell, 16th to 5th. How important is grid position in a bootleg racing league? We'll listen to the drivers, some of the grids in the top 10. 17th, 15th, 16th, 14th, 18th. Plenty of time to make your way from the back to the front.
We're seeing that top 3 get a little bit closer, Soup. Menda's really in Aiden Young.
It's a half car length back now. Boy, Menda is getting right on the back of Young. I can hear Donnie Moore screaming from position number 13 saying, go get him. Turn him if you need to, Jason Menda. Of course, Donnie Moore and Aiden Young in that points lead.
He may not have to. I mean, Aiden's doing the conservative route here, running about half a lane up off that yellow line through 1 and 2, and we've seen Altice and Menda send that thing on that yellow line, and if Aiden doesn't shut the door, that might be the way he can get it done.
If Altice can get there, maybe Menda and Altice can double team him. One go low, one go high. I think if Young had any more pace, he'd be showing it. No reason to save anything right now with just 4 laps to go. Jason Menda has plenty of experience looking for some way around. Oh, Ruben Altice found an opening. He tried to dive it down in there, but he got on the biters. A nice job from the 70. I think Altice will be happy with the third if that's what it is. Now Menda may have used up all he has. Maybe good night nurse for the Floridian fireman as he drops about 2 car lengths back. Menda now may be turning his attention to the rearview mirror instead of the windscreen. 2 laps to go for Aiden Young. Go ahead.
He had a big final send, and you said it, Soup. I think he used it all up, and rolling through 3 and 4, we're about to see that white flag. If he's got anything, he's got to leave it out there now.
Well, if you're a fan of first responders, tonight's your night. New Hampshire fireman, a Floridian fireman, racing 1 and 2. Aiden Young gets the win. Jason Menda will go second. Ruben Altice gets third. Turn our attention back to 13th position. Who's it belong to? Old time Donnie Moore. Look for him to be on the pole. when we go to round number 5. Woo, doggy! The racing is over here at Langley, but our broadcast is not. We'll take a short break, come back, run down the entire finishing order, talk to a pair of firemen and Ruben Altice before we put a shoelace on the gate. We got another race coming up after this one. Don't go far. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to VGN's fourth round coverage here from Langley Speedway of the 38th edition of the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw SK Modified Invitational. Well, it's been said that old age and treachery will always beat youth and exuberance. That's not the case tonight, as Aiden Young gets the best of Donnie Moore in the points battle. Aiden Young going from 4th to pick up the win. Jason Mendes 17th to 2nd. Ruben Altice goes from 15th to 3rd to get the shortest podium spot. James Lowe was racing up front for the lead for a while. He'll have to settle for 4th. Lowell Jewell, a great one, 16th to 5th. We documented it, boss man. Nice done. The back half of your top 10 goes to a very quiet run from Double Deuce Bruce Pearson. Brandon Myers raced up front for quite a while. Scott Negus put on the show. He'll settle for 8th. Mr. Aggressive, Chris Davis in 9th with the Canadian Goose, John Wilson, and his familiar number 75, rounding out your top 10.
The Caveman, after starting on the pole, rough race for him. He's going to fall back to 11th. Tom Hilbert, 12th. Donnie Moore, after some late race excitement there, Luke able to drive it back into that 13th coveted pole position with the invert next week. Chris Hazlett, 14th. Ed Springer, 5th. Todd Liston, 16th. Edward Foster, 17th. Kurt Smith, 18th. Steve Hilbert, 19th. and Adam Shane 20.
Adam Shane commenting that Jason Menda may have been responsible for starting the first big incident, and then he was able to capitalize and come home in second. Sour grapes from Adam Shane or the truth? You decide. With that said, let's go ahead and talk to Aiden Young. My goodness, Aiden, nice job. They were coming a different name every time, different driver, but nobody could get around you.
Yeah, just gotta forget the mirror there and just stay smooth.
Did you want that last yellow, or were you happy to see it? Did you need your tires to cool down, or were you good to go the rest of the way if it would have stayed green?
I think I was good to go, but then again, it helped to cool them off a little bit, so it could go either way.
Well, you were in a points race coming into this one. The man you were chasing, Donnie Moore, finishes in 13th. That's the good news for you. The difference is, though, because of the rules package, you'll be starting in the middle of the pack when you come back next round. Moore will be on the pole. The championship is going to be fun.
Oh yeah, it's always fun here. These guys are they make it interesting, that's for sure.
How much points watching do you do? Do you pay attention to the standings? You probably don't do much during the race, but you know where you stand when you come into a race and who you're racing?
I've learned from real life racing, you don't look at the points at all.
All right. Well done, man. Congratulations on the win. We'll see you next round.
Thank you.
Don't know if I believe him, but that's the story he's sticking with. All right, Shaggy, who you got?
I got Jason Menda up here in the booth. Hey, man, Shaggy, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Shaggy.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Driving that thing up from 17 to second and making that thing as exciting as it was at the end, how much rubber do you have left on that set of tires? Because, boy, you must have used it all up.
Not much on the right rear. Heated it up pretty bad on the outside.
Yeah, we saw you kind of close that gap on Aiden after a good restart, moving up from third to second. Well, you got pretty close, but did you just make that right rear a little too angry? I saw it step out on you coming out of 4, and it seemed like from there on you're just trying to hold on to P2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought maybe when I got up to this rear bumper, I was like, I might have a shot at this, and then it kicked out, and I was like, that's it. I'll just try to hang on to second.
Now, we know, it's not something you do very often, but when you get that close to Aiden through 1 and 2, I mean, does the devil on your shoulder tell you to maybe lay a little front end to him, move him up out of the way, or is that just not the way you're going to do things?
I don't try to get into anybody. Speaking of which, got to apologize to Todd Liston. Might have been a checkup, I'm not sure, but I got in the back of Todd, probably ruined his night. But yeah, I don't like racing like that.
No, it definitely was a checkup. I can remember what you're referring to through 3 and 4. Not much you guys could do there. He had to get on the binders. He had no time to react. So you're all clear in my eyes, Jason. Great run tonight, man. Congratulations on the P2. Who you want to thank?
You guys up in the booth do an awesome job. Everybody in the league, best league in town. And congratulations to Aiden and Ruben. It was a good race.
Hey, Jason, it's Soup in the booth. There's much talk among the firehouse about what's going on here in California. You guys have much take on that?
Yeah, we've talked about it. That's pretty much like fighting fire in a hurricane. You ain't gonna put it out. Those high winds, ain't much you can do about it. Although it might help if you had some water. That's a whole different story.
I don't know a lot about firefighting, but I know that water is an important aspect of it. All right, man. Good luck to you down the road.
Thanks.
Very poignant there from Jason Menda. With that said, let's bring in the number 70, the quiet man, Ruben Altice. Ruben, the season opener at North Wilkesboro, 3rd. Round number 2 at Lanier, 3rd. Tonight in round number 4, 3rd. If it wasn't for the 18th and 5 flags, we'd be having a different story. Pretty good season so far, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it the way it started. It was a good night. Me and Jason ran together, seemed like the whole night, and that was a lot of fun.
He did. He followed you through. You guys started side by side a few times, and he got around you. Then you were fighting him back. Did you have anything for Aiden Young at the end? You were closing him down. I thought maybe that last yellow might have hurt you. If it stayed under green, you might have had a shot at him.
Yeah, I was gaining on him until that caution come out. I don't know if I could have got by him, but that caution killed any chances. I was just happy to get a 3rd after the caution come out. Indeed.
We saw you be very patient a few times. How much we actually saw you back out and let some drivers in. How much is the reputation of the other guys that you're racing play into the way that you drive? Do you ever take that into account of who you're racing with?
Oh yeah, you can definitely. It's just good group of drivers, and you know who you can race hard with and who you can't. And I'm fine racing with Jason. I know he ain't gonna wreck nobody on purpose, and it was just a lot of fun racing with him.
Indeed, it was a rude battle with him. It was fun to watch. Congratulations on another third place. Well done. We'll see you down the road.
All right, thank you, Sue.
The quiet man is making himself heard. I'll tell you, with the third place is coming left and right. With that said, we're going to tell you when we're going to do this thing again. If you like this series, we're back next Saturday night. We're going to Stafford for round number 5. Let's see if Ruben Ortiz gets himself another third place or maybe a second or even a win. But before then, we're going to do the late models right here at Langley in just a few minutes. So don't go far. Those broadcasts, past broadcasts, future broadcasts are all in production of the Virtual Grip Network. So until we see you in just a few minutes, have fun storming the castle.